The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 14th day of September, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sandra Durham, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Welcome back, Sandra.
Good morning. I haven't seen you since your big birthday.
Yeah. It's been a
How
while.
was it? I followed your updates. You were just on the beach relaxing, huh?
Well, yeah. Once the sun went down, yeah. It was a nice one. Nice little private area. Um, there's so many little pockets of like vacation spaces in the state of Florida. It's really crazy. It's just you can find a little town, nice beach, little boutique resort. You'd love it, Sandra. You'd love it. You'd love it.
I love a good vacation. I haven't had one in a while, but I love a good. You know what my favorite destination is?
What?
Jamaica. I gained so much weight. I eat to my heart's content. I relax. Oh, I love.
That's how you know it's a good vacation. Apparently, when you might look, man, you know it's a good vacation when you come back a couple pounds heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Jamaica's grown on me as well. Actually, I might be going to Jamaica next month. We'll see. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Erin Chichlow from Bermuda's Love on for a conversation. The Daily Play is music today. So let's talk about the Daily Play. Now, you all, they're on a streak. Now, I'm not quite sure if they're reading my notes before the show. Somehow, some way, they are on a streak. I'm talking all four of them.
Jamal,
Yeah.
don't I find that like when it's my day, it's like this aha moment. Like, you know what? I need to go. I need to make this harder. Sandra's on. She's getting this. I need to rethink this whole situation and make it harder every time I come on.
Really? You think that's what I would do to you? Me?
Yes.
No,
Yes, you do.
no,
Mhm.
no way. No, Sandra, last week it was a trick question. It was the capital of Egypt. And you got it one time. You didn't fall for it. You got it one time. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a streak. But I say that to say this. I noticed the streak may have began on September 1st with Cher's last appearance. Sherry is returning soon. I'm not saying that the streak's been so long because she ain't been showing up to work. I'm just saying there's a pattern here. Oh, shucks.
Sherry has new things going on. We're happy for her. So she's taking a little time to herself.
Yeah.
She comes back, she's gonna be refreshed and ready for you.
Yeah. Love you, Sherry. She's listening to you. She said, "You're right, Sandra." Yeah. Yeah, we've got some Jamaica fans out there. Good morning, Karen Simmons and Carlita Davis. So let's get into today's convo, Sandra. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, a lot.
I want to mention something before.
Okay.
I don't know what we're talking about. I was looking on my WhatsApp status, and Baked by Melissa, those little cupcakes. I used to stand in line forever for them in New York City.
They're not closing.
No, they're in Bermuda.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that they had something last night, or they were down at Whitehorse.
No, Sandra, you know that's not necessarily part of the story. Bermudians be like, well, why she could come here and sell her cupcakes? And no, you know how positivity could be.
I'm
saying, bro.
sorry, but I was excited. I saw the Gumbies were out dancing.
Bermudians know how to make cupcakes too. I'm just
Well,
saying.
maybe she was just they were visiting. Maybe they brought their company on a vacation. Who knows?
Okay,
It's
well,
nice to have people in Bermuda posting
yeah.
on social media about Bermuda.
Angeline Butler says, "Nice. I love those
Me
cupcakes."
too.
No, they are good. Good for the gut. So look, folks, got a conversation. Like I said, a number of things are happening. Some things that make me laugh, but we're not talking about me and my humor this morning. But instead of focusing on the problem, this very big problem that I think all of us know that our island is running into right now, let's try to help. How's that? Let's try to offer some solutions to, hopefully, they have ears, hopefully they listen. But let's try to offer some solutions this morning to our government. What am I talking about? Well, let's go to our friends at the Daily, the Royal Gazette. The title of this article is Two Cruise Lines Pull Bermuda Stops Over COVID Testing Rules. Celebrity Edge is one of several ships from the cruise line company that has pulled the plug on Bermuda's transatlantic calls this autumn over COVID testing requirements. A string of cruise ship visits to Bermuda during October and November have been pulled because of the island's COVID testing requirements. Celebrity Cruises and Norwegian Cruise Line have pulled 5 stops, 4 by Celebrity and 1 by NCL. 3 other scheduled calls on the island were said to be unofficially called off, but the cruise lines in question could not be confirmed. This is according to the Royal Gazette. So, based on that story, my friends, the question of the morning is simple. What advice would you give the government of Bermuda regarding the travel authorization form? What advice would you give them?
Jamal, excuse my ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
What is the testing requirement now to come to Bermuda? I feel like things change so often where it pertains to COVID. I've just started living my life like keep myself safe, and I don't know what else is going on.
Well, I think that the biggest deal is the fact that they have to still fill out the travel authorization. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Uh-huh.
So correct me if I'm wrong, folks, because I don't think Bermudians have had to do it. But if we don't still have to fill out that form, you know the pink forms at the airport?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen those given lately. I don't think tourists have to fill them out anymore. Right? So
Sure.
yeah, the pink form, it says, you fill out your information, where you're staying, how you travel to air or vessel, whatever. If it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, that the travel authorization form actually replaced that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's electronic. Again, I could be wrong. My information did come from a source who oversees it, but I could be wrong, meaning that person could have given me bad information. But if in fact the travel authorization did replace that pink and white form,
mm-hmm.
then I don't quite see the issue outside of the $40,
the fee,
right? The fee, and feeling like it's an issue. But to me, I would actually rather fill out something online or on my phone than to write in pen while I'm on an aircraft about to land. That's just me. I wish the duty form was actually electronic.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't have that confirmed if there's any experts in the audience. But what we're asking, it looks like, according to the Royal Gazette, 2 cruise lines have pulled stops in October and November because what they're saying, the travel authorization form. So the question of the morning is, what advice would you give the government of Bermuda regarding the travel authorization form? Do you think they should pull it? Do you think that they should just, waive the fee and leave the form to collect the data? What are your thoughts, folks? What are your thoughts?
I know this is such a tricky question because I think we've all agreed that this form is in place mainly to make money and make up for budgets and all that sort of stuff, right? So I don't think that they're in a position to pull it. But at the same time, if we're pertaining to tourism, we have cruise ships pulling out. And at this point, this is all we have because we don't have hotels the way that we need them. So we're in a catch-22. We're like, well,
Mm,
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
mm,
Wh-
yeah.
I would love to hear what the audience says because
Well,
this
they're
is
saying a lot. Let's go to them. Traveling Trotty says the pink forms are no longer required, as I learned. Sheikh Arena says, I was on island in July and didn't use a pink form. I too figured the TA covered it. Well, Sheikh Arena, I don't think Bermudians have had to fill out the pink form in quite a while. Charles H. Jeffers the second says the information in the TA form has replaced the pink forms. Okay, so right, I did receive good information. Visitors are required to have a negative test to get an approved TA. That was what you were asking, I think, in the beginning
yeah.
regarding testing requirements, Central. But I guess, that's overall testing requirements. But I guess, the questions more or less reflect in the form because I think a lot of people are bothered by the form because of the fee more than anything. I could be wrong, Sencha, but when you fill out, like, I don't think you have to fill out one for the US anymore, or it could just be me. I don't know, but
I know you don't have to test to go to the US anymore.
right. No, you don't. But I mean, even a duty form, I don't think you have that anymore, right? I don't think that you have to fill that. I could be wrong, but correct me.
Take anything to the US. So
Who does? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I know all you have to do is show your proof of vaccination,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, right. You share it to the airline, or yeah, you share. Yeah, you have to share.
Airline,
Yeah.
airline.
Samcat Place and Kenton Trot for you, Sandra.
Maybe. The airline asks for it, meaning that information and it's digital, so it gets populated by immigration, etc.
Mm.
They need to find more creative ways to raise money, not sugar tax or TA.
Yeah, I mean, my advice for the government, honestly, to answer this question, I'll give you my answer right
Yeah.
now is what advice would I give the government regarding the travel authorization form? I would say I think it makes sense, but just remove the $40. No, hear me out. If the government really needs that money, I mean, let's just be honest. There's other that many people traveling to Bermuda right now where the $40 is making that much of a difference. Be creative. Find another way to get that money. Now, I don't know if there's promises been made to the creators of the TA form, right? I don't know understand the economics of it, but I think the solution's actually simple, Sancha. Just remove the fee. Maybe I'm just looking at it too simplistic. I don't know.
I don't that fee's not just hidden tourists. The amount of locals that fly in and out, like on a
Mhm,
regular basis, like business, what every time you fly in, and I know
mhm,
people that fly weekly, you're
mhm.
paying that fee.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I get it, and if think about it, folks. If people are saying that the $40 fee is the biggest issue, not let's just put the testing requirements and the form aside, just the $40 fee. Don't you think you risk losing more money than you're making if you keep that? Like simple business. You know how Sancho's always saying we need more business people in the room? Wouldn't you think this is one of those times when a business person would probably be tell you to like, hey, you probably want to cut it because it's actually costing you more money. Like they're the ones that would get in the room and do the math for you, no?
Yeah. It has to be another way. It has to be, like you say,
I
get creative
mean,
with it.
put the $40 in like a hidden fee in your ticket price, or
Yeah, that's
like
what yeah.
sometimes it really just comes down to optics, right?
You do, yeah. I was gonna say maybe it could be hidden in like airline. It's when you really look at the breakdown, all the different fees that they have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's the audience is they're all in it. You want to take Sean DeShields and Traveling Trotty?
Sean DeShield says, please stop robbing the public and visitors blind as the jurisdictions have discontinued this practice.
Yeah, other jurisdictions they have.
Many countries around the world do not require a negative pre-arrival test.
Yeah, I think more people are used to the times we're living in. Karen Simmons says, "I'll remove the fee, keep the form for data." I mean, I think that's the
Yeah.
easy thing to do. Do you have to still pay for a COVID test? Yeah, that little $40 fee, I guess. Sean Smith is what I think most of us are talking about. Charles H. Jefferson II says for visitors, it's more than $40 per person for the TA. Most have to pay for a test also. Correct.
So when you arrive in Bermuda, that test that they do is free, right? If you don't have a pre-arrival test, or do all tourists have to have a pre-arrival test? They can't test when they get in Bermuda.
If they're vaccinated, so it changes so much.
I know.
When was I last there? July, right? 2 months ago. I had to pay big money for a pre-arrival test. They're no longer free depending on where you live or where you go. So that's a cost in itself, right? If I wouldn't have gotten it, I would have had to get a pre-arrival test. I can't remember if it was free or not though.
So I know the last time I took Maddox away, it is expensive, and I'm traveling with a kid, right? And I'm paying the same price for my kid. So I'm paying for the TA fee and the pre-arrival test. So it's what I want to say we did the online one, so maybe $65 of, I know somebody charges 65, somebody charges 45 each, right? And then the TA fee, it's expensive, and if I can go to a Jamaica and not have to do that,
Yeah,
and go to the beach and eat a lot of food.
If you're thinking like that, imagine how many other people that were gonna potentially come to Bermuda thinking.
It's sad. We need to figure it out.
Yeah, Traveling Trotty says maybe the $40 could cover a 2 or 3 month period. That's an idea.
That's a very good idea. So if you paid it, it's like this, for this amount of time. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. And folks, if you know a government civil servant that's got the air of a government minister or maybe an MP, like this is a great idea. Get this to them. This is why I love this show, folks. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the cruise ships. According to the Royal Gazette, we've got a couple of cruise ships who have pulled stops over COVID testing rules in Bermuda. So let's go back to the comments. We've got so what a question of the morning is basically, what advice would you give the government of Bermuda regarding the travel authorization form? Not necessarily just the testing, because I think it's an issue overall, but the form, to me, I just want people to understand that, the information we have is that the form actually should remain, probably. I think we all agree. Like, we want digital. We don't want to be filling something out, and it has replaced the pink and white form. But it's the fee and the testing requirements that could be costing us. Sam Cat Play says, I guess if it doesn't say tax, it wouldn't be so bad. And then Traveling Trotty says, no hidden fees, as we already pay about $166 per ticket. I think, you're a traveler, Traveling Trotty, obviously in your name, but I think people are willing to pay what they don't see, though, if that makes sense. The average person. And that's the point. I look at stuff. Not my bills at restaurants, apparently. Somebody else always does that. Sam B says $40 for residents, but much more for a visitor, travel costs, test costs, hence incentive to not travel to Bermuda. Yeah, it gets costly. Sherry makes a good point. If it's a family of 4, just imagine. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, good morning, Jamel. It is easy to remove the fee, but I have never known government to banish a tax. That's a good thing, because someone else said, when is the last time that government has actually gotten rid of tax? Like, governments are known for implementing taxes, but when are they known for eliminating taxes?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask Maya that question. She probably has it somewhere. Karen Simmons and Charles H. Jeffers for you, Sandra.
Are you gonna call me Sean?
I'm sorry.
Visitors must have a pre-arrival test. Locals only can get the test here. I don't think that's true, because I've done pre-arrival tests, definitely. The argument has been made that we are losing that money on island spending. What we don't know is how many people are not coming because the test requirements and paying for the TA.
That's why I think proper R&D, research and development, to understand whether this is really in our best economic interest. But that costs money too. That place says test isn't free and they need to prove full health insurance in case something happens. Carla John says the biggest complaints I was seeing online about traveling to Bermuda was more about the testing requirements and the fear of being stuck paying for a hotel in Bermuda for an extra week if they test positive. Yes. That's staying, like, I always wondered, so let's say I test positive, what does that mean? Like, I have to stay and pay my way somewhere? Like, what I haven't come across a situation like that, but
I feel so. I get that, but I'm also conflicted with it. I know that we need to learn to live with COVID and all of those things, but having I mean, we're a small community, right? So
Mm,
having someone arrive in Bermuda with some different strain
mm,
that we haven't detected, and I'm
right.
not comfortable with that. They're leaving us here to deal with that, with people being hospitalized, and
Mhm,
so I feel a little different, and I know people are like, "Let's get on with it," but
mhm.
I do feel a little different about it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. We have Sloan Johnson says it's not a tax, it's a fee, so it can be done away with at any time. Language is important. Thank you for that, Sloan. Renee Simmons says not many people travel here over 3 to 4 month period. It's still a waste to tourists and some locals as well. And Sean DeShield says the TA form is a significant deterrent for large groups wanting to travel to Bermuda. Now, there are so many different things. Obviously, this question is regarding the form. There's the testing requirements. There's, as Carla John mentioned, and being testing positive. The reason, again, we're focusing on the form is because I just want people to know, like, based on the information that I received from someone part of the decision making, is that the form's not really going anywhere, folks. It's replaced something. However, why is it important to have this conversation? Because if it's one thing governments around the world are really, really bad at, Sancha, it's communicating to their people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, most of us, not all, but most of us, would have welcomed an electronic way to fill out our forms. Like, if you told me I can do my duty form on an app, I'd be in heaven. Again, an option. I'm not saying it should be the only way, because we spoke about technology yesterday with Jade, right? There are older people or some young people who may not want to adapt and do it that way. They may still want to write, but
Hmm.
the option. So the reason the forms to focus is I truly believe it's the way to go. However, testing requirements and fees, I'm not quite sure what promises have been made, but they have got to be reconsidered.
Maybe they need to, like, just reading that comment when they said, big groups, maybe it should be group rates. Maybe it should be like tiered fees, or I don't
Mhm,
know. It has to be a way to, at least if you can't do away with it, bring
mhm.
that fee down.
Yeah.
Not as expensive.
Let's bring Maya in before you get me in trouble. Janet Maynard says that you have to pay accommodations at your expense if tested positive, and we'll round it out with Sherry and Charles. Charles HF second says there is no on-island testing for visitors required, so the fear of being stuck in Bermuda has been removed. However, people are tested and positive for coming here and having to cancel their trip before coming here. And Sherry said, agree, Sancho. I traveled from Jersey to Atlanta last year and found that I had COVID when I got back to Atlanta. So yes, testing is important. Let's get to the news break. See what Maya thinks about this. I know she's traveled recently as well. So it's time for the People's Pharmacy news break.
Morning, everyone. It's Maya Palacio here for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy.
All right, Maya, we got to ask you. You got an opinion? What advice would you give? You backstage, you were saying that you filled out something, but it was the duty form, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't.
You've traveled twice recently, right? Twice. What's up, Bermuda?
I believe I have. I believe the last time I came back was in July. I remember
Right.
that one.
So, did you feel inconvenienced at all?
It was a shorter trip for me, so I do remember not being able to get a test before I came back home, which was annoying. I couldn't book one, but I was able to just get it when I arrived at home. So that was fine for me. And I got my results back within like 2-3 hours. It was very quick.
So, would you give any advice to the government, or?
Personally, I'm gonna stay out of this one for opinions for today. I'm not gonna give any advice.
Let me just say this. I don't find that the process, like after everyone complained, I feel like the process is very quick. You know what I mean? They've sorted the form out. We traveled in August, and you get, even with the TA form, you get a response very quickly. It's not inconvenient anymore. I think it's a matter of the fees that you have to pay.
I don't want to sound too privileged in saying this. I don't. But Sheikha Rana, she says, not sure the fee is the deterrent. And it may not be the deterrent for you and me. But as Sherry said earlier, it damn well as hell is a deterrent for a lot of people because, again, $40 adds up to some people. So I don't, in the interest of not coming across like we're better than anyone or we're more privileged or anything. No, it's a deterrent to a lot of people. It is. Maya, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that one thing I do find annoying when I do fill out the TA is if you do it on your phone, sometimes it won't let you scroll over. Like it's not compatible on an iPhone, I find. So I'm like having to just be like, yes, not really knowing what's on the other side because I can't quite scroll over on the phone. That's the only thing I find annoying.
That's an easy fix. Leave those iPhones, get yourself an Android. I mean, back in a while. But anyway, we'll leave that alone. What you got? What's your top story? What you got in the news for us today?
Well, top story is just so everyone knows, hopefully you didn't have any reservations at a restaurant on Monday because it is a public holiday on September 19th now. The governor, Rena Lauji, just announced that. And she also announced that that the Bermuda premier and herself was invited to represent Bermuda at the state funeral as well.
Question. Maya, don't answer this. Sancha, you think Premier Bert's going to be going?
Yeah. I think he will.
Yeah.
With bells and whistles on.
Yep. Okay.
You see what Jamal does to me?
I just want, I couldn't do the job. But anyway, send on my principles. What else you got for us, Maya? Oh, well, hold on. Happy holiday to Bermudians and, even you all who, maybe anti-Queen. Enjoy your holiday. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to also announce alongside that garbage collection will obviously only take place on that Monday for bars and restaurants, and then Tuesday will be the regular collection. But on another note, when it comes to government and announcements, in June 2022, consumers paid 4.7% more than they did a year ago for the basket of goods and services. That was announced earlier this week by the Minister of Labor, Jason Hayward.
Was that the article Larry shared with us in the group about inflation groceries?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There was some points made about inflation, about like different types of food. So I have a list here. Tenderloins rose by 18.9%, frozen entrees 18.4%, tomatoes and broccoli by 9.3%, foods purchased at restaurants rose by 6.3%.
So I mean, the easy fix is basically just to make ice and have ice for dinner, folks. That's yeah. What else you got for us, Maya?
Well, we have the roundup of offenses from this period of August to September. The police Operation Vega has been in effect. 718 tickets were issued for various traffic offenses total, which increased by 78 from the previous period. You can see in this graphic right here, just the amount of things that have increased and things that may have decreased from the period before to now. Obviously, speeding still being the highest thing. Disobeying traffic signs has gone up again. Luckily, I'm happy to see that the helmets have actually gone down because I'm sure to be pressuring people about buckling their helmets all the time. But this is what you can see here as to what's been going on the island.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you get the speed? And forgive my ignorance. Where do you get the speed, or what time of day would you get the speed to go like 94 kilometers? Like there has to be no traffic on a road, and it has to be open space to go that fast in Bermuda somewhere.
Yeah, normally it's East Broadway, I would say, or even South Shore Road. I mean, that's what I would suggest being like the highest points of speed.
Wow. I mean, Sancha, you look like you're like me. I'm called grandpa on the roads. You seem like grandma. You don't seem like you speed.
When I was younger, I used to. But now I am not out on the roads during the time of speeding.
Yeah.
I do have a friend that's like, gosh, you drive your car like you ride a bike. But I think it's more so just like in and out. But I'm not on the roads this time of the days anymore.
Maya, just you, I know you're very much buckle that helmet, drive safe, whatever. Like when you see people riding crazy around you, like I was in Bermuda and I forgot to turn off my indicator, and a guy came up to me, he said something, I was like, huh? Then I realized it hit me like about 2 minutes later. He's saying your indicator's still on. Are you one of those riders who will go cross someone and just be like, hey, your helmet's not buckled, or slow it down a bit, so, whatever, it's stoplights up the road? Like, what are you? That you seem like that person. I'm judging you.
I'm a little bit that person, but I don't do anything that will put me in harm's way. So I wouldn't be driving up beside someone's car and telling them stuff like that. If I'm already parked, if I see people getting on their bikes,
Mm,
or even at the pet store when I see you guys come in rolling in without the helmets buckled, I will like, let them know. Make sure you buckle your helmet before you get back on your bike. Or
mm,
if I see it in town, I definitely let people know. If I'm riding my bike though and I see people with the indicator still on or something, I'd always do this to like
mm.
let them know your indicator's still on. But yeah, so I am someone who tries to let people know, and I'm very much someone who will always tell you to buckle your helmet.
Yeah.
You know what I started doing, especially since being a mom? If I see a young kid that is speeding and riding reckless, then I do like if it's a stoplight or if I catch up to them, I do have a conversation with them.
Mm,
Like
mm.
and I seem like the old nana. Stop, Jesse. See what, Jamal? Why would you even put that up there?
I'm not saying. I just wanted you to have a chance to defend yourself.
I do not.
Okay.
Anyway,
All
I
right.
do have conversations with young people when I see them riding reckless.
I
Gotta
love
get
this
to the
show.
stoplight if I can.
What else you got for us, Maya?
Well, if we're talking about young people, my next story is basically, I know it's an uncomfortable topic, but do you know what your child's sex education curriculum is at school? Have you talked to them about it at all? Have you had those type of conversations? Well, if you haven't, luckily, Kavina Loray, who does articles for my page, actualmedia-maya.com, she puts out different articles bi-weekly about basically sex education. She is an holistic sex educator and life coach. So this week we actually have a story up about 7 ways to know if you're ready for sex. We've done ones about consent and the red flags in older relationships as well. So if you want some starting points to talk to the family about, that's probably a good place to start there.
Cool. That's pretty cool. I do see on your social media posts that she's highlighting certain things that I think people should be aware of, and I think sex education in this day and age is extremely important. I mean, it was important when we were coming up, so appreciate you guys doing that work, Maya.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a journey.
Comfortable. Like she's made it very comfortable. You know
Correct.
what I mean? If there was a stigma behind like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, she's come out to be like, no, it's okay. And she's made it a comfortable conversation to have. And she shows how you can make it comfortable to speak on.
Yeah. What else you got? Anything else?
Yeah, closing out this story for today, I know we have someone coming on talking about sustainability and the benefits of that for our world and our island, but the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute announces that they're having their 2nd annual Youth Climate Summit, and that'll take place between November 21st and 26th, and it's for age groups between 13 to 22 years old. This will be the 2nd one. So last year they actually was able to talk to different students from different high schools mainly, and they all got to talk to different mentors as well as people coming down and leaders about climate change. So here's a small clip that I had from last year about some of the students' experiences.
My career, I've thought about it a lot. It's definitely marine robotics. I am in love with robotics. I love programming. I love building. And I also love the oceans, the coral reefs, the fish. Everything about it is just beautiful to me. But the main thing I wanted to do was create a robot that can take time-lapse photos of coral reefs. So instead of going down there every single day per year to take a picture, you can just time-lapse it.
I think per month, the average human consumes about a credit card's worth of plastic, which is kind of shocking.
That's insane.
I said that fun fact to somebody the other day and they didn't believe me. So I'm very happy that young man repeated it. I said it to someone. They were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Even think about it, when you have your water bottles and you're drinking like plastic out of those plastic water. I refuse to. I actually carry a water bottle because I refuse to drink out of a plastic water bottle. Look at the mouth. Here we go.
Maya, give us some good weather, please. Give us some good weather.
Yes, looking at the weather today, it's going to be a lot of sunshine. Might be a chance of a few showers early on, but for the most of the day, it's going to be a lot of sun, Bermuda. So, just keep your waters with you, get your reusable bottles, and make sure you do the correct thing for our planet. And it's going to be a high of 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
I mean, you could have a daily hour mug to drink out of.
Jamal, I was just going to say, now we need daily hour water bottles.
Yeah. Well, Shanta, Keitha, you heard her. What you got days of the year, Sancha?
Today, timely, good. National Food is Medicine Day is celebrated in the United States every year on September 14th. The goal is bringing these challenges to the forefront on National Food is Medicine Day to generate enough buzz to encourage government and private sector entities to collaborate on developing situations that make it simpler for more people to get healthy food. The main causes of global burden of disease today are poor diets and the health risks that come along with them. Diets that aren't very good either don't have enough of certain vitamins, minerals, and fibers, or they have too many calories, saturated fat, salt, and sugar. So giving up. I have a garden, so I encourage everybody to start growing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, understanding not everyone has a space, but I will say there are pots you can grow stuff in. We definitely are living in that time. Maya, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right, Maya Palacio, folks. Folks, do not go anywhere. We're a bit behind time, but we've got Erin Chichlow from Bermuda is Love. Folks, these folks are doing some wonderful things. When we have guests come on here, you start to Google and you learn more. You go on social media pages and you find out what people are doing. I think every Bermudian will love what Bermuda is Love is up to. I didn't know how to say that without sounding corny, but we'll be right back.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Salter's bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
All righty, welcome back to the big show. She's Central Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website, thedailyhour.com, so you don't miss a chance for updates, promotions, prizes, and more. Also, if you're on the go and you can't watch, just download the BCG Radio app, available for Android and Apple devices, and you can listen to us every time we go live. Now, we did get a question before we bring our guests in, or not a question, but a statement. I guess there won't be any TDH on Monday. Well, the way we operate over here, that's up to them. That's up to Maya and Sancha and Phil and Sherry and Larry. That's up to them.
There will be a show.
Okay, there will be a show.
On the group that we have.
There will be a show then. All right, let's bring in our guests for the day. We've got Erin Chichlow. So, Sancha, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put it out there. So I said to Sancha, I called Sancha. Sancha, I don't call nobody, right? So I called her yesterday. I said, Sancha.
Well, I was in the doctor's office.
Oh, that's right. It's always right. So I called her. I'm like, Sancha, what we talking about tomorrow? So she starts breaking it down because I'm like, and the reason for it, so many different angles you can take with the work that Bermuda is Love is doing. That's the point. And so she breaks it up. So she calms me down. This is where we're going. So she set me up. And I say that because the work they're doing, we're not going to be able to fit in this space. But I really, really want the audience really share this conversation right now as I bring Erin Chichlow in to have a conversation.
I want to say this quickly. You can bring him in, but Jamal, how many times have I captured something about them and sent to our group? I swear I've never met Erin. I've never spoken to any of them. I've been following them for a little while, so I'm excited about this because I've never had a conversation with them, but I follow and I'm invested.
All right. Well, let's bring him on in. Good morning, Aaron. How are you?
Good morning. I'm all right. How are you?
She didn't make you nervous, did she? What she was saying back just now? Hopefully.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. All right. Well, thank you for doing this. So first off, just explain to the audience, those who may not know, what is Bermuda is Love?
That's a big question, but I guess the simple idea is that we're just trying to solve different social, economic, and environmental issues in Bermuda. And we do that by trying to promote collaboration, education, responsibility, activism, and love for our community. So we do our best to try to collaborate with different organizations that kind of share our goal and educate people on issues that we think are important. So just raising awareness about trash pollution, climate change, fast fashion, consumerism, poverty, inequality in itself in Bermuda, and what we can do. So we try to create different events that go towards those issues and show people that you can come join us if you want to, make a difference.
Nice. And I'm gonna ask you to explain a lot of that a bit more later in the conversation, but just it's great. What you guys do is absolutely awesome. And it's kind of what Bermuda needs as far as a cultural shift. In terms of us being the people, being the change that we want to see. But where did the concept for Bermuda is Love come from?
It came from just one idea that I wanted to make Bermuda better. We wanted to make Bermuda a better place, and was kind of just thinking, mainly during COVID, what could we do? And the idea for me was mainly to just create a community of like-minded individuals. So I joined my friend Jawande Smith, who had an organization called Get It Green Bermuda, and they're an environmental organization. So we joined them to try to promote trash cleanups, and we did weekly trash cleanups all throughout the summer of 2020. And with that, we were trying to think, what else could we do? What other areas of inequality really could be addressed? And so after that, we started gravitating towards the blood drives, clothing drives, recording giveaways, community gardens, started volunteering at field programs, volunteering at different homeless shelters. And that's the real goal, is just to reduce inequality and try to make Bermuda a better place. And it just comes from our own, I guess, love for Bermuda, and our love that we feel is I guess endless, is boundless, and Bermuda's potential to be great is also boundless, and that's the idea.
If you have any questions or encouragement for Aaron and the Bermuda is Love crew, please feel free to share in the comments. How do you hope the work of Bermuda is Love inspires and improves our community?
Kind of like you said, we kind of think of Bermuda's Love as a movement of trying to encourage people to really change their mindsets. We're trying to change the hearts and minds of Bermudian. It's a real cultural revolution, cultural shift. That we need to love each other, care for each other, do more for each other, and not expect anything in return, especially as a key point. And the key, I think, we just want more people involved. We want the whole Bermuda invested. We believe that it's everyone's responsibility to solve these issues that we have. All the different problems of fast fashion, of consumerism, of poverty, inequality. Any of those problems, we think they're societal problems. And because they're societal problems, we need everyone to tackle them. We can't just depend on the MP or the government or one charity or one individual. We need everyone invested, everyone collected to
do for self. Do for self-determination. I got you. Yeah.
So I have been following your organization for about 3 months now, and I'm always so impressed with all of the initiatives that take place monthly. I feel like you guys are doing something like every week. Every time I turn around, I'm like, wow, something else. Can you share with the audience what these are, and how do you decide what initiatives you're going to do?
All right. So for us, we want each event to target a different human right. So for us, it's really about addressing or trying to promote the idea that everyone deserves basic needs. Everyone deserves to have their basic needs met. So our basic needs are housing, clothing, food, healthcare, a healthy environment, and good education. So each event is meant to tackle a different human right. So we volunteer, or we have the trash cleanups to kind of speak to the right to a healthy environment. We have our monthly blood drive to speak to the right to healthcare. We volunteer at homeless shelters like Teen Haven, Transitional Transformation Living Center, and HERM, the new homeless charity. We speak to the right to housing. We volunteer at different food programs like Christchurch Warwick and the Cathedral. We also have our community garden. We volunteer with Coalition and Protection of Children, which kind of speaks to the right to food. And we have our clothing drives and our free clothing giveaways, our school clothing giveaways, which kind of speak to the right to clothing. And what else do I miss? And then we have our scholarship that we just started last year, which kind of speaks to the right to higher education. And so those are the different events that's basically how we choose what events to do, where to collaborate with, who to collaborate with, and what our main goal.
Nice.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me that you can cover so many spaces. But based on all the areas of work that you've been focusing on in Bermuda, which would you say needs the most assistance, and how can the average Bermudian be involved?
Yeah, I would say from my own experience, I'd say the right to healthcare in a way is the biggest issue or the hardest one that we've kind of felt to tackle or address. I think many people recognize, right to food, clothing, healthy environment, even education, even housing a bit now. We have a bit more charities that are invested in it, but healthcare, I think, is a issue that not many are kind of addressing. It's hard to, I think, find events that really speak to it. But in terms of getting involved, what did you mean with Bermuda's Love?
Or just in general, yeah.
Just in general. I think Bermuda's blessed in terms of how many charities we have. So there are a variety of groups, people, individuals who are really out there trying to make a difference. In terms of getting involved with Bermuda's Love, we post monthly schedules of different events that we were going to be throughout the month each month. And this month has been a campaign on no new clothes, trying to advocate or promote the idea of the problem of fast fashion. And then we'll also have another monthly schedule next month that you can look for on our Instagram, at Love, on our Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok.
So Jamal and I had this conversation the other day, right? So you have a challenge going on at the moment involving fast fashion. And when Jamal and I talked about it, he was like, "What? What is fast fashion? Like, what are you talking about?" I've never known Jamal to really be oblivious to much, but he was totally oblivious. Can you explain what fast fashion is and why a challenge like this is so important, especially in Bermuda?
Yeah, so fast fashion is actually a pretty big issue. Basically, fast fashion represents the model or the business model that uses cheap clothing, cheap labor and cheap materials to produce cheap clothing at a really rapid pace. And what this does is you have these companies outsourcing their production to these in the global south countries such as Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, that really pay their wages very minimal. So some of them only 2%, I think, actually have a living wage. There are about 80% working, 80% of women in the global garment trade. And the problem really is that our consumerism, the more we buy, the more we throw away. And the fast fashion just produces more and more material, more and more clothing that we just continuously buy, consume, and we use to kind of base our personality, our identity on. The more clothes we buy, the better we are, the more happy we are. And the problem with this is that it produces bad effects on the environment and it exploits women and children in the global south. So basically, the 10% of all greenhouse gases comes from the fashion industry. So for the industry, it uses oil and greenhouse gases to produce the plastics in our clothing. And this ends up polluting the environment. And then also 20% of all global wastewater gets used in the fast fashion industry. So I guess natural products like cotton, they are most extensive or waste. They waste the most water in terms of the production. And
interesting.
So
I'm just gonna ask: what's the brand? Sheen? Would that be considered fast
fashion?
Yeah, so Sheen, H&M, Fashion Nova, all the big brands that you could possibly think of. There's all the fast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And basically, they get all the ideas from all the clothing designs from catwalks and fashion week, celebrities that are all watching, and then they design the clothing in like 5 weeks and 5 days. And it just gets put in the stores for people to buy. And it's basically the problem is before fashion used to be produced seasonally. So you have you have collections that come out in summer and winter and fall, and you just buy what you from those collections. Or now the collections get released weekly or daily, and so it kind of encourages the people to buy more and consume more. And
My biggest problem within that is the child labor, the women in child labor. To be in a space of supporting that, it's beyond me. So yeah.
And
You're not shopping this week, are you?
I ain't shopped in a while, so. And don't nobody get in the comments say that's not true, because I have not. True story. I can't afford to. I got new straps for my watch because I can't afford another watch. I thought my watch was dead. So I'm part of the responsible Bermuda Love is Love. With what's it called? Fashion Friday? Not Fashion Fridays. What's it called? I'm on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the long-term goal for Bermuda is Love?
Basically, I think we want to see a society where everyone's basic needs are met. We want to see a society that's free of discrimination, of pure equality. Really, we want to ensure that people's basic needs are met so that they can flourish and be whoever they want to be. So they're not focused on finding a place to live or a house or food, not worrying about food or shelter or clothing, that they can focus on more important, higher aspirational things and just flourish and thrive in society and be who they want to be and do whatever they want to do. How do we get there? Is just we need more people involved, we need more people invested that believe that this is a good thing that we need to achieve.
That was my next question for you. So you explained how we can find your regular calendar events, but I understand. So there's no sign up from what I understand. You just kind of show up.
Yeah. You can just show up to any event. There's no sign up required.
We've got the audience very involved. We've got Karen Simmons. I've been following Bermuda's Love for a while. Younger people starting a revolution of change. Mark Arthur C. Phillips actually has a question. What are some of the milestones you've achieved in your short history?
That's a good question. So we did a free clothing giveaway. So we did a clothing drive back in August 2020. We collected clothing. And then we had a free clothing giveaway at Elliott Primary School in the next month in September sometime. And it was very depressing at the time because no one showed up. So we came with about 50 bags of clothes. And we actually left with like 55 because some people were coming and still donating clothes at the time. So that was really depressing at the time because we just didn't know if this was even something that Bermuda's Love, if Bermuda wanted, But we kind of stuck with it. We did it a couple more times, tried to get get more awareness, more advertising about it. And we posted it in Bear News, I think in March. We did it again in March in 2021. and the turnout was overwhelmingly much better. So we came in for about 100 megs of clothes that time, and then we left with about, I think, 50. So it was a great turnout, and people were very appreciative. You know, they were like, "When are you gonna do this again? This is amazing." So that was, I think that's been the best.
Okay. And we got another question. Interesting. Renee Simmons asking, sounds like this group could possibly evolve into a political party. Do you have any interest in forming another political party?
Not really. Not right now. I think right now it's a bit more grassroots, just trying to change the community and values and culture. And doing it through the collaboration and meeting with other people that share ideas. But to be honest, I think one of the biggest inspirations for Bermuda's Love has definitely been the Black Panther Party. So we try to formulate all our different ideas of goals around how they have been structured. And they obviously are a political kind of political party. And so I want to say it's definitely never going to happen, but not right now. It's not our goal.
I love that because again, I mean, so many people have bad thoughts thinking they were radical and they were this and that. They were the most harmless group. They were literally about taking care of their community that was neglected. So appreciate you saying that. Jody Virgil says, yes, I love the idea of shifting our clothing mindset. So important to gain our self-esteem and self-value from inside versus what we wear on the outside. Amanda Blakeney says, I recently volunteered with this organization, a wonderful group of young people with a heart of service. Honestly, I appreciate you guys, and we definitely want to have you back. I know that you have a regular schedule of events, even with Maya, if we want to just include you in our news break at times. But I think as time goes on, there are going to be different spaces that you're going to enter. And we are really happy to open this platform to ensure that you all get the traction that's required to make the difference that you intend to make. So Aaron, thank you so much. Thank you to Bermuda's Love for trusting our platform. And we look forward to having you back and continuing the conversations to the work that needs to be done in Bermuda. Thanks again.
And could I just say one last thing? That you don't necessarily need to volunteer with Bermuda's Love to make the change. It's really about, I guess, making sure that you're doing it yourself, that you can be the change maker, that we all need to be really doing the effort to make the difference. And it doesn't necessarily need to be with Bermuda's Love. It could be with your own organization, your own friends, your own family. And that's really where the change really starts, where it comes from. And that's where it really can really push forward to being more and sustainable.
Indeed. Aaron, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you. Have a good one. And thanks you for inviting me on.
No worries. All right, Aaron Chichlow, Bermuda's Love, folks. If you appreciated the conversation, found it helpful, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We have to take a commercial break. We're going to come back, wrap it up. Make sure you share these conversations. As he just stated, you don't have to do the work with them, but just do the work. Stick with us.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty. Thanks again to Aaron Chichlow, Bermuda's Love. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, and Landos for ensuring we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, folks, just remember, show some love. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share. Just share. Share these conversations in your WhatsApp chat groups. Share them in your Facebook or whatever platforms you use. These are very important conversations that actually can shift our community for the better. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol, and Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. You know, Mr. Photogenic has been out in the community. Just follow Bermuda Trivia on Instagram and you'll see what I'm talking about. He's been getting some people. I mean, he makes Sancha and Sherry and Larry and Phil look good the way some of these people carrying on don't know the answers to stuff. But anyway, this ain't about teasing my colleagues. Sancha, you ready?
Let's have it.
We got my music ready because we had a new rule that you guys have got to follow. You got to let my music stop. All right. All right, here we go. It's music today. She has to tell us what song these lyrics belong to. Help her out, folks. If you want to be with me, you got to keep it real. Tell me what's going on. Tell me how you feel. Boy, I know you want me just as much as I want you. So come and get my love. It's all here for you.
I know this song. Is it like a Britney Spears or something? No.
Someone's kind of close, but no, it's not SWV.
Oh, SWV? No. Oh, hold on. Wait. What's the name? Not
Nope,
SWV.
not
Who is it?
Think Beyonce.
Oh, Destiny's Child?
Yep, it is. That last line, it's all here for you. And have you saying no, 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 when you should be saying yeah, 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 yeah.
I meant to Britney. You know, actually, first I heard Spice Girls in my head. If you want to be my lover.
See, what I've realized is when I've been reading them in the turn. So I tried not to read them in the turn today to see if I'll get you. Yeah, it worked out. It worked.
Okay.
It worked. Streak's over. Streak's over.
Sorry, guys. It was me. Sorry.
Oh, you know what? It would have been Sherry if it were you. she thought it was weak. She thought it was weak. I got so weak in my knees. Sherry, it's your turn tomorrow. Sancha, final thoughts on today's show. What you thinking? I mean, what we talked about, travel authorization and testing requirements. Then we had a good, positive conversation with Bermuda as well.
I mean, with the travel authorization form, as I said, it's tricky, right? We need the money. I understand that, but we need to find a way to, as you said, be more creative about it. I love the idea. I think it was Travel and Trotty that said maybe it should be like a 3 to 5 month period. As I said, for groups, maybe it should be discounted rates, tiered pricing. We need a marketing firm to come in and help us get more creative with it, if it has to stay.
Yeah.
I am still big on the testing. I know a lot of people are against this, but I know for me, I am afraid of another strain coming to Bermuda. And if we're not testing, we are a small community. And I know I don't want my business to go down because of it. So that's another thing. Bermuda's Love, as you know, I have been following them for a while. I got into a space whereas the one thing I felt like was missing for myself was that charity aspect. And they kind of piqued my interest in it and kind of helped me figure out what I want to do, even for my own business, as far as charity is concerned, and to make it a big part and put it in the forefront. So I am very proud of what they're doing. I can't wait to get involved. And yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. I mean, I think as far as the travel authorization, it's here to stay. I think they just need to figure out a way to, with the whole fee thing, they need to figure out a way to make that work. Again, I don't know if promises have been made, contracts have been signed, but they need to find a way, if the contracts have been signed, to take that money from putting it on the traveler to find a way to make it elsewhere. As far as the testing, I'm iffy on it. I get Bermuda's very small, but businesses are dying because people are not choosing not to come because of the testing. But at the end of the day, you can't bend your rules when the greater interest in the public health could be at risk. So I'm not, I'm on both. I know what Dr. King said about neutrality, but right now I'm neutral in that space. as far as Bermuda is love, you all know how I feel about charity. I'm not a fan of charity. I believe in empowerment. And that's why when he said the Black Power movement inspired the Black Panther movement, it got me on side, because I think empowerment does more for our community than charity. Charity keeps rich people rich, right? And I think what they're doing is they're being the change that they want to see through empowering moves. And part of that empowerment is actually the fast fashion. How are we benefiting from fast fashion? Quality clothes that last you a long time, you want to wear them over and over, right? Well, I mean, at least I do. I'd wear the same suit every day, but I'm a guy, and we know how rules are with guys, right? We're judged differently. That said, keep up the great work, and it's all up to us. We all have a part to play in improving our community. We all have a part to play, and as he stated, you don't have to come out with them, but do it with you and your friends and family. Sunshine, I know you've got some daily inspiration for us.
I do. The strongest principle of growth lies in human choice. That's George Eliot.
That goes very well with our conversation today.
Yeah, I actually got that.
You're talking about.
I know before Jesse's mom had passed away, she sent me a list of quotes for me to, think about. And that came from her. I was thinking last night, I was like, I need to go to one of those. So that came from her.
Contributing, that angel contributing to our audience. We miss her. We do.
Yeah.
Thanks again to our partners, Medical Wells, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sandra Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, make it a safe and great day. She still don't have a mug. Phil don't have a mug. Larry don't have a mug, but I do. Peace.